Hey, thanks so much for joining me. I'm Sarah McLaughlin. I'm a mom, a social worker, and creator of Peak Parenting. I'm also author of the book, What Not to Say, Tools for Talking with Young Children. And I wanted to give you a chance to, I wanted to take a chance to let you know a little bit more about my Peak Parenting program and kind of where I'm coming from with it, because I've been getting some emails. People are interested and want a little more info. So I want to start with a really quick kind of perspective shifting thought, which is that we are not raising children, we are raising grown-ups, right? No one stays a child. They grow, they go through adolescence, they turn into teenagers, yay, and then they become young adults and then mature adults. That's what we want to end up with, right? Mature adult folks who are and can fill in the blank, right? So this is an exercise I do with parents a lot, is to ask them, what kind of adults do we want to be raising, right? Because we're not raising children, we're raising adults. We want to know what kinds of qualities we want those adults to have. So often when I ask this question and I do a brainstorm, I get a lot of answers like confident, happy, joyful, respectful, kind, generous, helpful, have good relationships, have good self-esteem, things like that. You know, these are the kinds of things that people want to see in their adult children. I never hear anybody say, I want to raise an adult that goes off into the world to be obedient. Never happens. Nobody ever says, I want to raise an adult that's going to follow directions well and do what they're told. Doesn't happen. So I wanted to help sort of broaden your perspective in that way, that sometimes the parenting practices that we're engaging in, because it's so much quicker and easier to raise children, maybe, who are going to be obedient and follow direction and do what they're told. But ultimately, that's not the kind of adult that we want to be raising. So that means we need to shift the ways in which we are interacting with our small people, our growing people, our little humans, and rethink some of our approaches. Because if we want children who can engage in problem solving and engage in conflict resolution, then we need to give them the opportunity to have problems, try to solve them. This sort of try, persevere, fail, try, persevere, fail, try, persevere, succeed, right? That's like an ongoing chain. It's something that we have to make space for our children to practice in order for them to get to the succeed part. If we never let them, you know, experience what it's like to try to solve a problem and have it not work, then they never learn those different ways of coming at things, ways to be creative problem solvers. Unfortunately, conflict, especially if you have more than one child in your homes, that sibling conflict is messy and loud, and we tend to kind of want to avoid it. So I'm part of my program is to kind of help broaden the way that you observe and look at raising children in general, handling conflict in your home, handling emotional upset in your home. A lot of times emotional upset scares us, or we feel worried about it, but we often think about, we want our children to grow up and have healthy relationships where they can communicate and be seen and be vulnerable and be loved. And so we need to help broaden our children's ability to be with feelings that are difficult. I help parents have the tools and support that they need to be able to hold these new views of humanity and childhood and raising children, and kind of make micro changes. Small and often is the neurobiology approach to changing your brain and allowing it to grow new pathways and learn new ways of being. So I invite you to join me and click on www.sarahmclaughlin.com/peak-parenting to find out more information. I would love for you to join me.